Oh, yes. Here we are. Yes, we are live for the good fight. Oh, wait a minute. No. This right here. Right here. I was going to say KBF. Sometimes I get confused. Thank you so much for joining us for the good fight right here on every Tuesday, 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. We are so grateful that you have decided to join us for this conversation as we are in pursuit of a pure and raw and unconstructed Jesus. What do we mean by unconstructed? We're trying to get Jesus rid of the trappings, rid of the construct, rid of the systems of religion, rid of the oppression, the power, the domination, the exclusion that comes from systems of religion. Like, how do we divest from that, and how do we extract Jesus from that so that we can look at a different kind of relationship, if we choose to be in relationship at all, once we take away all of what we have been conditioned to believe about what it means to be in relationship with Jesus. So welcome into this space. If this is your first time, oh my goodness, you are here at the good fight. Whoever told you to come, I am grateful to them. Whatever made you come, I am grateful for that. You are here in this space. You could be doing so many other things. So I don't want you to think that I am taking it for granted that you have stopped right here. Thank you so much for your presence. As you are here in this space, there are ways that you can engage. One of the ways that you can engage with the good fight is to locate yourself. Find out what role you are playing in the story. Are you the protagonist? Are you who we are talking about? Are you the one who is complicit? Are you the one who is the advocate? Are you the one who is the activist? Are you the one who is the dismantler? Like, where are you in this story? Think about that and decide if that's where you want to be, or if you want to make a change. And if you want to make a change, then what are the steps to help you make that change? We hope to help you with that. Another way that you can engage with the good fight is to look through a window. So this is not your story. You do not understand. You do not resonate. This is not familiar to you at all. This is like totally foreign. Somebody else is telling you something about their lives and you like, what? But it is a gift to you. Anytime someone is comfortable enough to share their story with you, that is an absolute gift, and all you have to do is receive it. No accountability, no responsibility. You don't have to do anything. Now, what's going to happen, I can guarantee you, is that the Spirit will be moving in your soul. And whatever the Spirit says, I ain't got nothing to do with it. That's between you and the Spirit. If you want to respond to the Spirit, fine. If you don't, fine. Again, it has nothing to do with me. And then another way that you can engage is to walk through a door. So beyond this moment where we are just 7 to 8 o'clock in this session, 1 hour, what happens once I click end stream? Are you continuing to think about this? Are you continuing to percolate? Is it continuing to percolate in your mind? Are you pushing back? Are you feeling some kind of way? Are you anxious? Are you excited? Like, what's going on? That is another way that you are engaging, to listen to your body now that you have heard the story. Because one thing I've learned, I really wish that I had been an attorney. One thing I've learned about the courtroom, you cannot unring the bell. Once you've heard it, you're responsible for it. Even if your decision is not to do anything about it, it's still there, and it's your decision. And then finally, you can also look, whoever this is that reached out to me last week. I was like, I know you reached out to me. I can't find you. Then I'm like, oh, I found you. You're on YouTube. Like, how do I get to YouTube? So I think that people think I'm so like savvy with social media and technology, but I'm absolutely not. Like, I'm trying to find you, sir, ma'am, gender nonconforming sibling. I promise I'm trying to get to you to see what this comment is that you have made on the good fight. So I just appreciate all of the different ways that you show up for us as we are on this quest in this new year to figure out how we can get to the pure and raw Jesus. So we started this conversation by saying, if you change a person's story, if you change a person's name, you erase their story. And that's what we've done with Jesus. We've changed Jesus's name from Jesus being the man from Nazareth, son of Mary, into the Messiah. So once we changed Jesus's name to be the Messiah, then we erased who he really is. So we are reclaiming Jesus's story as, hold up, hold up, hold up. I never said I was God. I never said I was your Messiah. I never said that I was coming to create Christianity. As a matter of fact, I wouldn't even follow Christianity because it sounds like y'all got 3 gods and I only believe in one. I'm not even a Christian. I am a Jew. So this story that we have concocted about Jesus erases who he really is and who he really can be for us. And so that was the first step that we made, was to say, no, 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 no. You don't get to make him God. We're going to allow Jesus to be who he is. So then who is Jesus to us? Jesus is revolutionary. Jesus is the one who says, I have come to turn, like, you remember the story about Jesus? Well, I don't know if you remember. Some of us remember the story about Jesus getting mad. I'm coming to flip all these tables. I'm coming to say, look, this is not how we are going to operate in the house of prayer, where we tend to our spirits, where we tend to our souls. This is a place that's supposed to be free of capitalism. It's supposed to be free of racism. It's supposed to be free of sexism, homophobia, transphobia. It's supposed to be free of all of these systems that do not allow us to be the whole of who we are. I'm getting rid of all this stuff. Get up out of here. This is a house of prayer, and that is what we have come to do. And I do want to share this prayer with you. Oh, I can do that in just a minute. And so that is what we've done. So we've said, okay, Jesus is not our God. You don't get to change Jesus's name. And then Jesus, we want to recognize as revolutionary. And then how do we relate to this revolutionary? We relate to this revolutionary as partner. Oh, okay. I see you trying to do the work. I'm trying to figure out how I fit in this story. Jesus's story was already being told. We have come alongside Jesus in this story of moving toward collective liberation. So what role do I play? I play the role of partner. I play the role of accomplice. I play the role of I'm thinking about how I'm trying to put my Vaseline. I'm trying to put my Vaseline on. I'm trying to change these tags on the back of this car. Like, that's the role that I play. Like, whatever it takes to put my body on the line to get this work done, that is who I am. I'm not your slave, Jesus. I'm not your sinner, Jesus. I am side by side as your leader doing this work. And so what is this work? What does this work entail? This work entails us executing power. It entails us recognizing our power and living into that. And the first step in doing that is knowing that you are worthy. You are valuable in the vessel that you have. I don't care that it's black. I don't care that it's thick. I don't care that it's woman. I don't care that it's trans. I don't care that it's same gender loving. None of that matters. Your body is worthy of the power that you have been given as one who can affect change in this world. Do you believe that? And if you do believe that, then how do you live into that? And the way that you live into that is recognizing that you can't be everything for everybody. I'm not your superwoman. What was her name? Oh, no. I can't think of her name right now, but that's what she said. Like, one of the things, especially as women, we carry this on our backs, particularly as Black women, that it is our job to be everything for everybody. We do not get a chance to be sick. We do not get a chance to be tired. We do not get a chance to need to breathe. All we can do is put our heads down and push through, push forward, make it happen, fix it, work it. We are always doing that. And finally, Karen, I think her name is Karen. Finally, somebody says, look, that's not my job. My job is to show up as my excellent self, to show up as the divine expression that I am, to show up as God in this space. Yes, that is what I'm called to do. But all this other stuff you are assigning to my hands, no ma'am, no sir. I am not here for that. I don't even have the capacity. And so then once we say yes, we recognize that it is our role to come alongside as a leader in this space. And I cannot help everybody. So I got to be careful who I give my energy to, because everybody does not deserve my presence. Everybody, I was dating this chick one time. I don't know if we should call it dating. What was happening in my life? Yeah, I had never considered I had never considered sexuality before. Like, I had never wondered about my sexuality. I'm like, am I heterosexual because they told me I am? Or is that really what I believe? Like, I don't know. I never thought about this. I never asked these questions. So we entered into a verbal contract. Like, we're just going to, like, I'll be able to ask all the questions I want to ask. We'll be able to explore in whatever ways I feel comfortable. Like, that's what we signed on to do. And one of the things that she said is like, Denise, I don't think you realize that there are times when all you have to do is offer people tilapia and it'll be good. You don't have to give them filet mignon. Like, just your tilapia is enough for them to be like, oh my God, you blow my mind. So you can reserve some of your energy for another time and another space. And so that is what we've also been talking about, like who qualifies to receive your help, who qualifies to receive your counsel, who qualifies to receive your time, who qualifies to receive your resources. And that is not everybody. It is not. You cannot live your life saying, well, I want to sacrifice for all the children of the world. No, you can't do it. It's not possible for you to be effective in that way. Everybody needs to be doing all that they can, and you have a limited capacity to do what you have been called to do. And that is important for you to remember. And so we've been on this quest about that. And then making sure that you realize that we're not on a quest to redefine religion. We're not on a quest to redefine Christianity. We're not on a quest to redefine Jesus in terms of, oh, okay, how do we continue to worship at church? How do we continue to worship through prayer? How do we continue to worship through praise? How do we continue to worship through tithes? That's not what we're talking about at all. We're saying, I ain't got to do none of that. I can be in relationship with Jesus without any of those trappings. There is nothing that I am obligated to do. Everything that I do because I want to do, because my body says yes. And every day that my body says yes, then I will move forward in this relationship. As soon as my body says no, I'm out. Well, if you're like me, it's not as soon as your body says no, but it's when you get fed up. It's when you're like, okay, look, I tried, I sacrificed, I gave you the benefit of the doubt. I stayed in it longer than I thought I should have. I was just trying to see, but then finally I'm like, you know what? This don't benefit me at all. Deuces. And so that brings us to where we are now. And I think that I've been talking about this for the last couple of weeks, like trying to get to this space where we are talking about forgiveness. When I think about the way that forgiveness has been weaponized in the context of Christianity, under the umbrella of religion, we have forgiveness has become a tool of oppression. It has become a tool of control. It has become a tool of domination. It has become a tool of anti-liberation, like whatever that is, anti-liberation. And so I want to talk about that tonight. I think for the flyer, what did I write on the flyer? What do I owe? I think that's what it says. What do I owe? There's this song that we sing. All to Jesus, I surrender all. To thee I humbly give. I will ever love and trust him in his daily presence. I surrender all. I surrender all to thee. That might not be the song. Jesus paid it all to him I owe. Sin had left a crimson stain. He washed it white as snow. Maybe there's some combination of those songs that are in my spirit right now about us realizing that when Jesus, according to the story, according to the story, Jesus died on the cross. Jesus gave himself up as a sacrifice for our sins, the sins of the world, so that we could be saved by this act of selflessness. The very reason why Jesus was created, not created, because we don't want to talk about this very reason why Jesus shows up as God in the flesh is so that we can be redeemed, so that the sins that we have, the sins that we carry because of what Adam did, can be redeemed, like that we can be seen as worthy, as valuable. And so Jesus paid it all on the cross. So everything that I do, it is in sacrifice, it is in debt to the fact that Jesus died. And so what I'm saying now is, if we're going to look for the pure and raw Jesus, divesting from the systems of religion that are binding us to this obligation that we're supposed to have to love Jesus just because that's what they told us to do. Like, no, that's not why I'm in relationship at all. If we're going to do that, then we have to realize that, okay, wait a minute. What do I really owe anybody? What do I owe Jesus? And I think this goes back to my understanding of what it means to be a daughter. So I'm in relationship with my mother right now because she's living with me, because she's older. She's 88. She's got diabetes. She's got high blood pressure. She's got kidney failure. She's got a weak body. Like, it's a lot going on with her. And so I am offering myself to her as her primary caregiver. I am not doing that because I am her daughter, right? Like, I don't feel like I owe her anything. You had me. You had already had 2 children. You could have decided that you were not having any more children. You had already had 2 boys. You wanted a girl. You were not sure at this time in which she was giving birth. There were not these tests where you could tell what the gender would be, the supposed gender would be of the child. So she's taking yet another chance. She could have had another boy. It just so happens that she had a girl. Let me just tell you about my mom. You would think that she would be super excited because she's had 2 boys and her only goal was to have a girl, and she did not want to have more than 3 children. So this is her last opportunity to have a girl, and she has a girl. The universe shines on her. The universe is favorable towards her. The universe answers her prayer. And so the nurses bring me, oh my goodness, look at me, like this bundle of joy. I'm bubbly, I'm smiling, I'm not crying, I'm not giving anybody any problems at all. I am just all wrapped up in my blankets. I am just being the best possible daughter that I can be. And they bring her to my mama and they say, oh my goodness, you had a girl. And my mama was like, woo-hoo. That's literally what she did. Woo-hoo. And I'm like, what? And so my mother is excited to have this daughter. She wants to make sure that we have this relationship that she had with her mother. So she wants us to be close. She wants us to be intimate. She wants us to be best friends. Like, that's what she wants for our lives. And she's working really hard to make that happen. That is all about her goals. That is all about her desire. That is all about what she wanted. That is all about what she prayed for. That has absolutely nothing to do with me. So I don't owe her anything. Yes, you birthed me into this world. Absolutely, you did that. Nobody can take that away from you. But I am my own person. I am created. When I was born, I was a little person. And so I'm growing into who I was created to be. I'm not growing into your possession. We talk about this, my child. Who is that? I think we got it from Bill Cosby. Maybe we did. I don't know. I just remember Bill Cosby being the one that we attribute this phrase to. I brought you in this world. I can take you out. Actually, sir, you cannot, because that would be murder. Right? Like, so where do we get this idea that we possess people? We get it from the system of enslavement, that I own you, that you are my property. I can do whatever I want. You must do what I say. That is not what the parent relationship is supposed to be about. The parent says, oh my goodness, in gratitude to the universe, I say, I'm going to do the very best that I can to put up the guidelines that this child needs so that they can live into their true selves, whatever that is. I'm actually sitting back with excitement, waiting to see, like, what is this child going to grow into? Who are you going to be? Tell me. Tell me what your gender is. Tell me what your talents are. Tell me what your gifts are. Tell me what your graces are. And I will do whatever I can to hone those, to help you, to help those manifest, to help you grow into that. Like, that's what the role should be. And so I don't owe anything to my mother. I give to her because of the relationship that she developed. not a relationship out of obligation, not a relationship out of power, not a relationship out of dominion, not a relationship out of control, but a relationship of love that says, I want you to have your very best life. Whatever I can do to help you have your very best life, whatever that looks like. So for her at 88, it looks like I got to go to dialysis 3 times a week. I'm going to make sure that you get there and get there on time. For her, it means I need a walker. You trying to get me on this cane, but I need a walker. Okay, ma'am, if that's what you need, a walker, we're going to make sure you have a walker. Like whatever your life looks like, I am here to help you manifest what your vision is for yourself. And so that's the kind of relationship that we are looking for. We are pursuing now with Jesus. I don't owe Jesus nothing. You died on the cross because that's what you decided to do. Even if you say, well, God ordained it, it was God's will. Yeah, you had to accept it. I was thinking about this the other day. I was talking to my first love, and right here beside me is a stack of crosses that I need to be decorating. I'm supposed to be doing a whole bunch to them, but right now they're just sitting here. But on top of the wooden crosses, I placed a glass cross. And every time I passed by them, I said, Denise, you need to be careful, because if you knock this over, you're going to break this glass cross. The wooden ones are not going to be bothered, but the glass one is going to break. Like, you don't want to break this glass cross. It's beautiful. It has a saying on it. Like, it's tender to you. You can do something with it with your art. Like, be careful. Now, even though I heard myself say that, my spirit spoke to me and said, Denise, be careful with this cross or you are going to break it. I said, I hear you. Okay, I'm going to move the cross. Every day I passed it without moving it. And then finally, you know what happens? I ran into the table, knocked off the cross, and the glass cross broke. The wooden cross is sitting up here like, what's up? But the glass cross is right now. I just a few minutes ago, I swept up the pieces of the glass cross. So I heard my spirit say move, and I chose not to. And so Jesus had the same power to say, God, I hear you saying I need to die on this cross, but I'm not feeling it. I'm not doing that. Who? But instead, Jesus said, no. I don't mind being used in this way. Okay, well, if that's the choice that you made, don't make me beholden to your choice. I don't owe you nothing for the choice you made. You decided you want to do this. Now, how am I going to respond? Yes, that's the question that you can ask me. But what do I owe you? I don't owe you nothing. And that is hard for people to receive, right? What you mean? Your mama sacrificed her life. They made sure you had food on the table and clothes on your back and shoes on your feet and a roof over your head. Yeah, but that was their responsibility as parents. That wasn't my responsibility as a child. When you decided to be a parent, you said, well, this is what a parent does, and this is what I'm going to do. Now, there are some parents who say, look, I ain't even doing that. Okay, again, that's on you. That has nothing to do with me. I'm only going to respond to the relationship that has been cultivated. So whatever relationship that I have with you, then I am going to act in kind. So for those of us who say, well, I'm in love with Jesus, you say, okay, well, why? You say, because he first loved me. When did he first love you? Oh, because he died on the cross. Again, that's not your word. It ain't got nothing to do with you. So if we are in pursuit in this pursuit of this real and raw Jesus, this authentic relationship with Jesus, it cannot be predicated on the cross, because the cross ain't had nothing to do with me. Because think about it. We claim that Jesus was 2,000 years ago. So if this happened 2,000 years ago, was you born 2,000 years ago? Was you here 2,000 years ago? No. So how you going to say that the cross was for me? Well, Jesus knew. Again, that's Jesus's work. That's not my work. So if I'm going to respond to Jesus, then I need to respond to what you're doing for me now, sir, that is relevant to my life now. Like 2,000 years ago, like I ain't got nothing to do with that. So where am I in your story now, Jesus? And what do I really owe you? Do I owe you my life for the decisions that you made? How can you hold me accountable to that? I don't think you can. And if you think you can, that's fine. Comment. Comment. I don't have a problem. I want to hear what you have to say. But I feel like I ain't obligated to you, Jesus. I can respond, and I have a right to respond in the ways that I think are helpful, the ways that I think are healthy, the ways that I think move me forward in whatever it is I'm trying to manifest for my life. What is it that I want to see in my life? Denise Lachelle Darnell, named after Denise LaSalle, the blues singer. Denise Lachelle Darnell, I believe that it is possible for me to see collective liberation happen in my lifetime. I think it is possible for us to dismantle these systems of oppression and power and control and dominion and war in my lifetime. I absolutely believe it is possible. Why? Because we wrote it into this space. We can unwrite it into this space if we are willing. All we have to do is be willing to live and love differently, and bam, it'll happen. Just like that. How do I know? Because that's how we got these systems of oppression. We just decided that somebody was better than somebody else, and we wrote it into law. We wrote it into law, we inscribed it into law, and then we began to behave accordingly. So we can simply say, no, that ain't the law no more. This is what we're going to write into law, and we're going to begin to behave accordingly. What's the difference? Nothing, except our willingness. And so the question today is about, what do I owe you? How do you define you? What do I owe Jesus? I've already said this. Jesus is not God anymore in this space. Jesus is my partner. Jesus is my accomplice. Jesus is my co-conspirator. Jesus is my co-creator. We are side by side in leadership doing this work. We are in this together. We are pooling our resources. We are collaborators. We are a collective. We are trying our best to be in our lanes at the same time, going forward at the same speed to affect change. That's who Jesus is. So I don't owe you my life. I'm not your sinner. I'm not your slave. We side by side. We're both leaders. We're both respected. We're both seen. We're both heard. We're both powerful. Yes, absolutely. So then what do I owe you? I don't owe you nothing, Jesus. Well, then who do I owe? And what do I owe? Who I owe? And so this becomes the question that I've been thinking about for the past few weeks, because what it seems to me is that when we talk about being a Christian and we think about how we've been programmed and how we've been conditioned and how we've been socialized religiously, theologically, to think about what it means to be in relationship with folks as faithful people, then it means that we have to forgive you. No matter what because Jesus forgives. I think it's in the prayer that we call the Lord's Prayer. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. And so we have been, this prayer has been emblazoned in our brain. It's been imprinted on our minds. It is indelible. Like, we cannot get rid of its print on our souls or in our spirit or in our body. So we are always talking about, if I want to be forgiven by Jesus, then I must forgive other people. That is what we have been taught. And so what does that mean for us? It means that no matter what a person does, it does not matter how harmful the act. It does not matter how deep the impact. It does not matter how great the trauma. It does not matter whether or not I've been healed from it. It does not matter whether it's historic. It does not matter whether it is a perpetuation. If somebody harms me, in order for me to be in right relationship with Jesus, then I must forgive them no matter what. That don't work. That don't work. It's not even human. It is not human for you to rape me and I say I forgive you. That is not human. It is not human for you to kill my child, and before my child is buried in the ground, I say I forgive you. That is not human. It is not human for you to put your hands on me and to beat me black and blue and to choke me into inches of my life and me to say, but I forgive. That is not human. And he said, oh, well, you're supposed to be superhuman because you're Christian. No, that is not true. That's a lie that we perpetuate so that we will allow the system to keep moving in the way that it is moving, to subdue us and to silence our voices. Because as long as we say, oh, well, God wants me to forgive because God, what is the verse? Vengeance is mine, said the Lord, I will repay. then that means that I don't have to say anything. I'm going to be silent. So I'm going to let all of this unhealthiness unfold before me. And I'm not going to do anything but go into my prayer closet. What happens when you go into your prayer closet? How does Jesus show up? Answer that for me. Especially if you are Black, right? If you are Black, if you are a person of color, if you are a descendant of Africa, if you are an African descendant, we've been waiting, 500 years for Jesus to show up? How your prayer closet working so far? If you are a woman who continues to be treated as a second-class citizen, where men think that they can put their hands on you to control your behavior because the traditional way of thinking says that you're supposed to do what I say because I'm the head of the household, how does being in your prayer closet work for you? Especially when you finally decide as a woman that you're going to speak up for yourself, or you're going to walk away and I'm no longer going to be abused. What happens to your life? If it's not snuffed out, it's almost snuffed out, because the moment that you exercise control over your own life, that's when you are in the most danger. That's statistics. That's not me making this stuff up. That's statistics. That the moment that you say, I'm done, you will not treat me like this anymore, your life is on the line. So how does your prayer closet work? So this idea that we can allow people to do whatever they want to do, treat us however they want to treat us, and my goal is to forgive because that's what Jesus would have me to do. That's not who Jesus is. That's who they say Jesus is. Because remember, this whole thing started with, if you change my name, you erase my story. Jesus says, no, I'm revolutionary. I don't play that mess. I come to speak up for the woman. I come to demand justice for the oppressed. I come to make sure that the poor are no longer. I come to set the wrongs right. I come to make sure that everybody is seen and heard and respected and has the opportunity to live life to the full. The abundant life is what I promised you. That's what Jesus, the revolutionary, says. Jesus doesn't say, oh, no. Let them do whatever you want and just come and see about me. Come see me. Come holler at me. No, that's not what Jesus says. And so when I began to think about this question of what do I really owe you, the answer is nothing. I don't owe you anything, whoever you are. I remember I had to tell that to one of my bosses one time. I was so gracious to have received this job, to be able to sit under her tutelage. I thought that she hung the moon. I thought she was Black and woman and fierce and lesbian and unapologetic. And I just wanted to be in her space. I just wanted to live in her presence. I just wanted to learn at her feet. I wanted her to dispense all of the wisdom and the knowledge that she had so that I can grow and glow and learn and be and become. Like, that's what I wanted. And then I realized that she was like, because I let you come here, then you do what I say? Wait, what now? That ain't who I am. It ain't never been who I was, and I'm not going to be that person now. I don't owe you nothing. Nothing. And so what is our relationship with each other? And what is our relationship to God? And what is our relationship to Jesus as partner, as collaborator, as friend? What is our relationship if we take away the weapon of forgiveness? If we no longer feel like I owe you forgiveness in order for me to be healed? Because see, that's another thing that we say, and I don't know if I want to call this a lie or not. Maybe I want to call it a lie. I'm not sure. But for people to say that I have to forgive in order for me to heal, I'm not sure that's true. It is true that you don't need to be worried about the other person. It is. I do believe that. While you wondering whether or not, like, you worried about what they thinking about you, you worried about how they feeling about you, like, they ain't studying you. I do agree with that. They are not studying you. They rocking on as evil as they were. That's how evil they gonna be. That's how evil they are right now. Like, you don't even need to be concerned about that. I do believe that. But I don't think that I have to forgive them in order for myself to heal. What I think has to happen for me to heal is for me to sit in the rawness of the trauma. I have to realize and recognize and own that this is hurtful. This hurt me to my core. It knocked me off my center. It knocked me off kilter. It knocked me down. It made me weak. It threw me into a tailspin. I became depressed, and I had a series about it. I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to put one foot in front of the other. I need to be real about these emotions that I felt when this person did this to me. When you took my child, when you raped me, when you beat me to within inches of my life, when you made me feel emotionally and psychologically like I was nothing, that nobody wanted me, that I was unlovable, that I was untouchable, that I was nothing. I need to sit in the fact that I did not know how to handle that. And I was scared, and I was lost, and I felt alone, and I did not know what to do. We need to give people space to say that out loud and to know that that does not make you weak. It makes you human. That hurt. And it hurt for a long time. And I just tried every day. Actually, it was in those times that I was dealing with that kind of pain and that kind of trauma that I was depending on my community. I was hoping that there was somebody out there that loved me enough, that was paying attention to the fact that something has changed about me. I was hoping that there was somebody who would go to God and say, I don't know what's going on with Denise right now, but some ain't right. I remember how bright her smile used to be, and now something ain't right. I remember how she used to walk into the room with a pep in her step, and now something ain't right. I remember when I used to see the light in her eyes, and now something ain't right. So God, I don't know what it is, but I'm just coming to you on behalf. I stand in the gap. That's what we hope is happening. And for people like me, you know that that's exactly what happened, because somehow, some way, all of a sudden you started to feel this quickening in your spirit. You started to feel like I really can get up. You started to feel like I really can put one foot in front of the other. And you started to say to the universe, I don't know who it is, you like Helen Baylor, but somebody, maybe it was my grandmama, was praying for me. That's what we have to depend on, rather than forgiveness from the oppressor. Why, man? If you are the one who's evil towards me, why I need you? Why I need to forgive you? You need to be asking me for forgiveness, not the other way around. We got this all twisted, and it doesn't work for us. So, okay. So, wait. Let me put this up so people can see. So, Ruby says, I forgive and move around. So the way that I'm interpreting this is that when you say I forgive, you have to correct me because I don't want to speak for your life, is that I really, knowing what I know about you, Ruby, knowing what I know about you, you're saying, look, my future is not going to be tied to your behavior. My success is not going to be tied to how you treat me. I'm not going to allow the things that you have done to me to stifle me, to hinder me, to stop me from reaching the goals that have already been set forth for my life. So yeah, I'm going to let you go with this. That's how I'm interpreting this. Again, tell me if I'm wrong, but that's how I'm interpreting. So yeah, okay, you did it. You got over. Okay, chalk one up for you. But I tell you what, I'm not gonna stop growing. I'm not gonna stop learning. I'm not gonna stop moving, and I'm not gonna stop making an impact. And God is not gonna stop using me. That's how I interpret that. And if that's what you are saying, I'm with you 100%. The problem that I have is when people say, I can't heal unless I forgive you because my healing is tied to you. You are evil and hateful. You ain't no good. My healing ain't tied to you. My healing is tied to me and to my community and to my tribe that's saying, I'm going to hold it down for you until you can come back to us. Until you are able to see yourself the way God sees you, not Jesus, the way God sees you. God sees you as holy. God sees you as pure. God sees you as good. God sees you as worthy. God sees you as valuable. God names you all of these things. That is who you are. Until you can see that again, we stand in the gap for you. And we don't just hold it down. We lift you up. What does the Bible say? We come boldly before the throne of grace. And we ask for grace and mercy. And so when I think of the throne is like this seat that is high and lifted up. And so if I'm going to lay you on the altar, then I'm going to come and I'm going to lift you up and I'm going to place you right there. And until you feel your help, until you see yourself again, until you know yourself again, until you love yourself again, I'm going to keep you high and lifted up. It ain't got nothing to do with your oppressor. I'm through with them. Got nothing to do with me. So then, okay, so here's Ruby saying exactly. And you don't get to smother me with your pain because I have healed in too many areas. You don't get to smother me. I got a friend named Phyllis. Wait a minute. I might not should have said her name because I did not ask permission to share this story. So let me say it like this. I have a friend. Oh, let me say it like this. Let me take it away from my friend. Let me talk about myself. My mother used to tell me when I was growing up, when I was in my mama started telling me this when I was in middle school. My mama used to tell me that people bring trash to trash receptacles. So when folks come to you with gossip, when folks come to you with rumors, when folks come to you with judgments, when folks come to you with negativity, the only way that they can continue to give that to you is if you receive it as trash, the trash that you are. So if you don't want to be trash and you don't want to receive trash, you tell them, don't bring that to me. Don't bring me all your drama. Don't bring me all your negativity. Don't bring me all your trauma. Don't bring me all your pain. I'm not here for that. Now, if you come with a spirit that says, help me heal, I'll be there for that, for sure. So Ruby says, forgiveness is letting people be who they want to be. And sometimes that means without me. Forgiveness is letting people be who they want to be. And sometimes that means without me. My mama asked me a few minutes ago, this was just a few minutes ago, we were on our way to Burger King. She wanted that new candied Whopper. Have y'all heard about the candied Whopper? It's a new candied Whopper from Burger King where they have this sweet bacon jam and this candied bacon with it's a whole thing. And so my mama loves anything, my mama is the person that advertisers are thinking about when they come up with these commercials, because whatever is new, my mama wants to try it. And so we were going to we went to the Burger King on Markham, and they were like, we don't have the sweet bacon jam, nor do we have and she actually said the Canadian bacon. I'm like, Canadian? You mean candied bacon? How you get Canadian out of candied? But anyway, they didn't have that. So I'm like, she was like, do you still want it? I'm like, no, because that's not even, what is you talking about, ma'am? No, we don't want it. So then we drove all the way to North Little Rock, and we're like, okay, we came to get this new candied Whopper. They're like, we don't sell it no more. So I was like, whatever. So on the way in North Little Rock, we took the Broadway Bridge. So we took a right onto Main Street, and at the corner of Main and, is that Broadway? Yeah, at the corner of Main and Broadway, they've got this new bar called the Draft Table. It used to be called something like some kind of Irish something. It was an Irish name. And I said, oh, I want to go see that place. I'm going to go over there one day just to check it out. And my mama said, who you going with? I said, I'm just going to go by myself. She said, you'll go by yourself? Yeah. She said, you'll go out to eat by yourself? Yes, ma'am. What else will you do? She is intrigued. What else will you do by yourself? T. You know, we call my mama T. I'll do whatever by myself. I'll go to the movies by myself. I'll take myself out to eat. I'll try new things. I'll go to the museum by myself. I'll go to the comedy club by myself. Whatever it is I want to do, I can do it by myself. Now, I can do it with other people. If they want to come along, that's fine, but I don't need nobody. I can do it by myself. And she was literally, she was in the car like, I didn't realize that was a thing. Yeah. Sometimes we got to let people know, and we have to let ourselves know, I'm good all by myself. I am 100% human all by myself. I don't need no partner. I don't need no spouse. I don't need no lover. I'm good. Now, if that happens to come along, that's gravy. But I am whole all by myself. And so, yeah, sometimes we need to let people know, bruh, sis, queen, king, whatever you call them, I'm good. Do your thing. I'm good. So I wanted to thinking about this, I wanted to show you this piece of art that I've done, that I actually was in conversation about yesterday. And I think that's what has it on my mind when we're thinking about forgiveness. We're thinking about, and the way that I'm thinking about forgiveness is when we say that in order for us to be true to our God, whoever your God is, Buddha, Allah, Jah, Jesus, God, Jehovah, whoever that is, in order to be true to that God, that means that I have to forgive you. I want us to think about something. Ruby said, yes, all by myself, I will do all of these things. And one of the things that I've learned, I don't know if you've experienced this, Ruby, maybe somebody else has, but most of the time when I walk into a room that's filled with people, I look for a table that's empty. And I go and I sit at that table all by myself because first of all, I'm not trying to make friends. Like, it's okay. Like, I'm good. Like, I just want to figure out what's going on. I'm just going to sit back. And it never fails. Somebody always comes to the table and they will say, I saw you sitting by yourself and I felt like you shouldn't be by yourself. So I wanted to sit with you. And I'm like, what makes you think I can't be by myself? So it's this conditioning that we have, like, oh my God, we can't let anybody be by themselves. Like, why not? One is a whole number. It is absolutely a whole number. And so I did this piece of art that I want to share with you right here. And I want to talk about it. This is the artwork that I did. And it has, it's a body. It is clearly a body that has thick hips. I don't necessarily want to say that this is me, but I am one who has thick hips. So when you see me, you think about thick hips, then this might be me. But I took a cross off of my wall that somebody gave me. At the time, I did not understand why Catholic people believed in the crucifix. So this cross that's on this piece of art is a crucifix. It's a crucifix because that means that Jesus is still on the cross. Those of us who have been conditioned in Christianity in a more conservative and traditional way, we no longer believe that Jesus is on the cross because he was resurrected on the third day. I don't know how we got to the third day from Friday, but anyway, Jesus is resurrected, and so Jesus is no longer on the cross. So I used to question Catholics about this, like, why do you still have Jesus on the cross? Do you not believe in the resurrection? Do you not believe in the power of the Holy Spirit? Like, what is it that you have about this cross? But I've been in relationship with people who are Catholic since then. That was me talking outside of a relationship, but I've been in relationship with people since then. And one of the conversations that I had just as recent as last night was one young man who is Catholic, like technically, but really he's more, the Catholic faith is more connected to his family. So his grandma, that's what he thinks about. That's why he goes to mass, because he's thinking about his grandma. But he said, I think about the crucifix. It is important to me because it's a constant reminder. Like, when you don't have Jesus on the cross, it's easy to forget. It's easy to forget not just the sacrifice. It's easy to forget that this was a lynching, that Jesus was lynched on a tree. Just like we can talk about my ancestors, just like we can talk about some Black, some white, and some brown people who were also lynched. Black folks were not the only people who were lynched, but we can talk about this government sanctioned mob killing of a man in public as a spectacle for all to see because he went against something that they believed in, like Jesus was lynched. And so this crucifix reminds me of, okay, let's remember the lynching. I don't want you to lose sight of the fact that this was a lynching. But the crucifix is upside down because it is a symbol of Peter. Peter was the apostle who was about to be lynched because he did not want to go along with the government. He was a resistor. He was a revolutionary. He was unapologetic. He spoke truth to power. So he was like, no. And so when it was time for him to be lynched, he did not think that he was worthy of being lynched in the same way that Jesus was. So he asked to be lynched on an inverted cross. He asked for his cross to be turned upside down in order for him to say, I defer to Jesus. Like, that is the overarching way that people think about the inverted cross as it relates to Peter. But what people leave out of the conversation is that this inverted cross is also a moment for us to resist. right? Like this is an inverted cross, because those of you who claim to know Jesus, who crucified Jesus right side up because you thought you knew better, you thought you knew what was best, actually you are evil and your values are upside down. You are crisscrossed in your way of thinking. You don't have a clue as to what's really going on. How dare you think that you're gonna crucify me in the same way when you don't even understand what you're doing? So I'm gonna invert this cross to let you know that I see you and your values are upside down. You don't know nothing. You are not going to place your values on me when they are twisted and they are misunderstood and they are misconstrued. I decide that I'm going to resist what it is that you are trying to say with this upright cross, and I'm going to speak my own truth, and I'm going to turn it upside down. And that is the way that I understand Peter. That is the way that I interpret him. And that's why I was using this to say, you are trying to teach me to forgive as a weapon. And I'm saying to you, no, I do not believe that that is what Jesus means when Jesus says to forgive, that you can do anything you want to me, and I'm just supposed to let it go. Listen to this. Let's look at these comments. Let me get this off of here. How do I get this off of here? Oh, let's listen to these comments. Right. Okay, so Ruby says, I'm always friendly while not looking for new friends. I said that one day, Ruby. I said to somebody, I don't need no more friends. That doesn't mean I won't be a friend. I get it. I get it, Ruby. I get it. If we become friends, I'm not going to resist that. But I'm not out looking, trying to see who's going to be my neighbor. Oh, look at her over there. Oh, look at him over there. Let me go sit by them so I can see if they can be my friend. No. Mm-mm. But if life brings us together, absolutely. Oh, I'm glad you like the picture. Yes. And so here's the other part of that picture, though, right? And so the inverted cross, but it's cut off, but up here, the neck is broken. There are broken pieces on the neck to symbolize that the neck is broken. And what I was sharing today is that my mother taught me, because I grew up in a patriarchal home. My dad was absolutely the head of the household. But my mother said, yes, it is the head of the household that makes the decisions. That's true. But it is the neck that turns the head in the direction in which it should go. And so if we are going to understand the power of being in relationship with each other, not necessarily heterosexual. My mama grew up in a heterosexual world, but we are living in a world now where we believe in people who are same gender loving. So it doesn't have to be a man and a woman, but if you are in relationship with someone and you understand the power of your union, you realize that the head can't move without the neck. And the neck cannot turn the head if the head is not willing to go in the direction in which it is turning. And so there has to be this willingness. What did Elle say this morning? There has to be this synthesizing of spirit that says we are together in this. And so I'm saying to you with this upside down cross, like, hey, we need to rethink our values. We need to rethink our conditioning. We need to go in a different direction. But if our neck is broken, we cannot realize that we need to change. We cannot turn into a new direction. So how do we fix it so that we heal from all of these traumas, so that we get rid of the brokenness, we get rid of the evilness, and we are able to say, hey, let's figure this thing out together. The head is going to make some decisions that are informed by the neck, that are using values that are more true to what we believe about our God, and not this constructed religion that they are trying to give us and call conservatism, because that ain't right. And so here's this prayer. And so that's what we talked about last night. That was just one of the pieces. I think I took 6 pieces to the University of Central Arkansas to get us to begin to think about a modern way of looking at Christianity. Because clearly, maybe I shouldn't say clearly, if we are willing to be objective in our critique. Some people don't even like to critique. Some people don't like confrontation. Some people don't like to push back. Some people don't like to resist. Okay, so all of you who don't like that, I'm not talking to you. But for those of us who are like what I did to the woman today at Burger King, ma'am, did you mean to say Canadian? I knew she meant candied. So I could have let it go. I could have been like, well, just give her some grace. Denise, you knew what she was talking about. Why didn't you just give her some grace? You knew she was talking about candy. I did not give her that grace. You know why? Because I didn't want her to say it to the next tape, the next card that came up. It ain't Canadian bacon. It's candied bacon. So don't say that to anybody else. Let me help you. I'm going to help you do your job. I'm not even hired in this position. I'm trying to come alongside you, ma'am. This ain't no Canadian bacon. Canadian bacon is ham. Come on. And so I asked my mama, I said, T, how many times do you think she said that today? And listen to what T said. T said, no, how many times do you think she sold that today? That she sold somebody some Canadian bacon? Do you think they knew it wasn't, that it was supposed to be so this willful, where if I did not say something to her, then she is passing on this ignorance and people are accepting it, assuming that she knows what she's talking about because she worked there. She was clueless. I don't care if she worked there. This ain't no Canadian bacon, ma'am. I didn't say it like that. I was real nice about it. I was like, ma'am, did you mean to say Canadian? And she's like, oh, no, I meant to say candy. Oh, okay. Okay. Do you still want it? No, ma'am, we don't want the burger if it doesn't have any candy on it. Because you're selling a candied burger. If the burger ain't got no candy on it, what are you selling to me? And why would I buy it? So that's one of the conversations I can say that Phyllis Brown and I have all the time. It's like, it's not so much that I'm mad at the person. I'm mad at us for accepting what the person says. If you know this is supposed to be a candied burger and it ain't got no candy on it, why are you selling it to me? But more importantly, why am I buying it? So this religion that we're talking about, these systems of domination and oppression, what they're selling it to us as I got to forgive in order to heal. That's a selling point to get you to be in line, to get you to stay in control, to get you to be silent, to get you to not hold people accountable, to get you to let people go and release people from their responsibility. No. I'm not buying that. Ain't nowhere in my understanding of God does God say you ain't got to be held accountable for how you treat God's creation. When we look at climate change, for me, this is clearly God saying you can't just treat creation any kind of way. There is going to be a creation itself. This is where I see that verse come into scripture, the verse that says the rocks will cry out. You ain't got to say that. The rocks will cry out. Even if we choose not to talk about climate change, the creation itself is crying out with the wildfires and the mudslides and the temperatures. Creation says you ain't got to speak it. We'll speak it. We will come forth and express with our voices our God saying you must be held accountable for your behavior. And if creation can do that, surely we can as humans, as part of creation, the human part of creation. So here's this prayer I want to leave us with. I found it when I was doing some work on forgiveness. It's tied to, oh my goodness, I can't think of the person's name. It's an activist. Oh my, I can't think of his name. But the work is around forgiveness, particularly as it relates to the Black community. Like how can we continue to move forward in this vein of saying that the system of whiteness, the system of white inhumanity can continue to dismiss our bodies, dismiss our voices, strip away at our rights, deny us access. They can continue to do that. And we're just supposed to say, but it's okay, I forgive you. Like how long can we keep going in this vein without asking for justice, without requiring some kind of response to the trauma that is being caused. And so I want to leave you with this prayer. I did not do I can't believe I can't remember. Usually I can remember the names. Usually I write them down. But this is by a woman. A woman wrote this prayer in response to this idea of forgiveness, thinking about Trayvon Martin's parents struggling to forgive Zimmerman, thinking about Botham Jones' brother getting up off the witness stand to hug his brother's killer in the courtroom, thinking about the people that were killed at Emmanuel Baptist Church, that before their blood, before they were even buried, they were forgiving the perpetrator. I'm not going to call his name, the perpetrator of the violence, forgiving him for that. Like, let's just stop a moment and think about what we're doing with this forgiveness. And so I want to leave us with this prayer. Here it is. It says, God, in your mercy, show me my own complicity in injustice. Convict me for my indifference. Forgive me when I have remained silent. Equip me with a zeal for righteousness. Never let me grow accustomed or acclimated to unrighteousness. Never let me grow accustomed or acclimated to unrighteousness. Never let me think that just because I forgive somebody, that's all the work that I have to do. Never even let me think that forgiveness is the work. If we're going to be on this quest for a pure and a raw Jesus that is unconstructed, that is free of all the trappings, we've got to be brave and bold enough to say that I don't owe you forgiveness. What I owe the world is justice. And what I owe injustice is my voice, is resistance, is retaliation. That is what I owe to injustice. And I don't care whose hands perpetrated. I'm coming for you. If you my mama and you are perpetrating injustice, I'm coming for you. If you black and I'm black, if you heterosexual and I'm heterosexual, if you gay and I'm gay, if you trans, I don't care. If you are unjust in this world, my faith compels me. My faith in my revolutionary friend Jesus. My faith is in a God that is all-knowing and omnipotent and omniscient that works through me because I am the reflection. I am the God that shows up to say enough is enough. I don't owe you no forgiveness. And Denise ain't got nothing for you. Not in the way that we use it as a weapon. But I can give it to you in the way that Ruby offers it. Okay, you did that. Now watch me keep going and keep growing and keep glowing. Watch me. That's what I think that's, what verse is that where it says, I prepare a table before, thou preparest a table before me in the presence of my enemies. Yeah, you tried me. Now watch me. Thank y'all so much for joining us for The Good Fight. We'll be right back here on next Tuesday. I know y'all wondering where T is, babe. I put her to sleep, gave her a bath, fed her, and put her to sleep. Hopefully she'll be with us on next Tuesday. See y'all soon.